Hello again YouTube, my name's RJ and welcome to my workshop. Today I want to show you the Central Machinery Metal Planetary Ring Roller, aka Harbor Freight. I picked one of these up at the local Harbor Freight a couple days ago. It's item 36790 and I need to make a couple of 9-inch rings, metal rings. I'm going to be using 1/8 inch by 1 inch hot rolled steel, just some band. And it's for a project I'm working on. Hopefully if I get a chance I'll make a video of that as well. But I just want to try this out. I've bent metal around, heat it up with a torch, bend it around, find an appropriate sized ring to bend it around, done different things like that. I always wanted to give this thing a try, so I'm going to give it a shot. I've seen decent reviews online, watched a couple of videos that worked out fairly well. The written reviews on the Harbor Freight site, mostly good. A few people had problems, and I wouldn't be surprised. Harbor Freight, that happens sometimes. Stuff just doesn't work as good as others, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So I'm going to open it up, give it a whirl. I have not really used one of these before. I've seen them in action. They're not too difficult to deal with. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so we're going to open this thing up, and normal packaging from Harbor Freight, packaged fairly well. The unit is nearly all assembled. The only thing that you need to add is the handle. Of course, I can't leave well enough alone. I want to see how this thing looks inside. The gears, the planetary gears they call them, they're just spur gears, are pretty sloppily machined. When I moved them back and forth, there was about 50 thousandths of clearance in between the gears, but it seems to work fairly well, so we'll have at it. So for now, I'm just temporarily attaching this to my weld bench, a couple of C-clamps, and on all 3 of the rollers there's Zerk fittings. You can grease this thing up and give it a little bit smoother operation, and of course, as always, get grease all over the place. The handle just slides on. There is a 1/4 inch or a little bit over a 1/4 inch roll pin that goes in there, so just drive that in. So I've got a piece of 1 inch by 11 gauge or 1/8 inch hot rolled band, and you can see in the inset this thing just automatically wants to drive out of the rollers. It's just pushing it completely out of the rollers. I'm going very small turns right now, only about a 1/2 a turn on the adjuster up, so it's not putting a ton of pressure on the material itself, and it's very, very difficult to try to keep it controlled, keep it inside in there. So now I'm kind of trying to tap it, keep it fairly straight, just really difficult to control. I turn the piece around, wet from the other end. It just very tough to get used to. What I've gone to now, I've done a full rotation on the adjuster, and that seemed to, it bit the material a little bit harder. You can see I'm still adjusting it, but it seemed to be better, but still very difficult to try to keep flat and moving along. You can see here that's almost 2 inches up in the air for the one end. So, and I expect I'm going to have to flex the thing a little bit, but it really is challenging trying to keep a consistent. Keeping the material into the roller is really difficult. Quite frustrating, actually. So I'm kind of concerned. I'm getting a ring, but I'm doing an awful lot of work and a lot of maneuvering to get it there. So now you can see, so I set the thing on the table, and the piece is not really perpendicular to the plane of the table. So use a crescent wrench to try to flex it a little bit. One more time to try to get my 9-inch diameter, and that seems to be about it. So now I'm going to kind of flex it and get it flattened out, and that's a ring. Okay, so what I think the culprit is here is this shaft here, the one that gets moved up and down by the adjustment knob here, is tapered out this way. So it's naturally trying to push that piece of metal out. I'm guessing if I went and got 3 more of these from Harbor Freight, probably
one of them will work or a couple of them will work, but just the quality of the machining is pretty poor. But you know, if it's functional, that's fine. But in this case, I don't think it's very functional. So just I set this rig up real quick. This is not a granite surface plate. This is not a high-end indicator or anything, but you can get a rough idea. So if I sweep across the inside of the shaft here, I'm zeroed, and then I run down on the shaft to the outer edge, and I'm at about 17 or about 19 thou over a distance of about 1.25 inches. So there's quite a bit of taper on that. I went to try to take these upper ones off to try, you know, measuring the taper on this one, and this just doesn't come off easily. And I did, on top of these knurls, I could measure it roughly, and it was much more in line. So when I measured this one with the knurl, it was noticeable it was out. This one dropped a little bit, and same thing with the other wheel as well. These two seem to be fairly in line, but this one's definitely got quite a bit of dropout. So I think that is the smoking gun. Okay, so Harbor Freight metal planetary ring roller, item 36790. How'd this work out for us? Not so good. This particular one. I recorded what you saw previous to this was from 2 days ago. I filmed a finale for it, said, I went to edit up that film this morning, and I just didn't feel right. I didn't give it enough of a shot. I really wanted to know for myself that it wasn't working right. Like I say, I measured the shaft, this idler shaft, and saw that, you know, the thing is really sloped outward. You know, obviously there's some tolerance issues here. But I came out, I made a couple more rings. I've got some S-shaped parts that I tried. All in all, I put about 12 feet of band through this thing, just trying different things. I got better at it. It did start to work better for me. However, still not the way it should. Still had, you know, when you set this thing down, the curves are not normal to the top of the plate, so you really had to adjust them. And then on these S-shaped things, you would put the part in and it would curl it this way, and then you'd have to flip it over and come in and curl it the other way, and these pieces would end up being, you know, crooked to one. I'm trying to figure out which way I'm pointing at the camera. Crooked to one another. So you had to take the crescent wrenches and straighten them out, which then put kinks in them. And, you know, is it okay for this particular one? Yes, but like I say, it just, this thing's not right. So I feel good that I gave this thing enough of a shot. It's usable, but it's not right for sure. So short answer is this one's not going to work for me. I'm going to package this back up, take it back. I'm out, you know, 10 or 12 feet of 1-inch band. So not a huge loss. And I did get kind of what I was looking for. It's not quite the quality I was hoping for, but with this thing being sloped out, it's definitely wrong. I also want to clarify, I said taper, and when I'm talking about taper, this thing is tapered outward compared to the plane of the other two rollers. It's not that the shaft is tapered. The diameter of the shaft is consistent all the way out, but it's consistently sloped outward. So two other things real quick. Quarter-inch rounds, you can allegedly turn these in here, roll them up. I didn't test this, I didn't have any material handy, but I measured the little grooves in the rollers here. They're 225 thousandths wide. So if you are going to try it doing quarter-inch, I'm pretty sure it's going to gouge up the edges pretty good, unless you got in here and relieve the edges somehow. So if you're trying to roll quarter-inch round stock, this probably isn't going to be your tool once again. Lastly, I read several places people complaining about a plastic handle. I don't know if they're talking about this handle. The only plastic I found on this thing is this adjuster knob and this gray cover in the back. So pretty much everything else is metal on this thing. It's pretty stout. Like I say, it's the machining tolerances that are kind of whacked out on it. So again, many people have had good luck with these. You know, if you read the reviews on Harbor Freight, you know, many people have done well with them. This particular one is just not cutting it for me. So if you're interested in one of these, you know, it's probably, right now it's like $55 with a 20% off coupon. And if it doesn't work, you know, you're out some material, but you can always return it and get your money back. That's what I plan to do with this one. And in this case, for me, it's kind of a flop, but it's worth taking a shot on one if you need one of these tools. So thanks again for coming out in the workshop with me. I appreciate it. And if you are interested in these workshop type videos, please hit the subscribe button, I guess over there, and I'll let you know when I got more videos coming out. So thanks again. Talk to you soon.